All right, welcome back. Let's talk about WUNMI TORIOLA. WUNMI TORIOLA, something like that, something. I think I wanted to have this conversation because WUNMI TORIOLA. If you don't know who WUNMI TORIOLA is, she's an actress. She's an actress. This report is saying she's hospitalized in the ICU after alleged online dragging. So that's goes gas. I want nothing but problems. I want no peace. Problems. Anyway, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna try to find a video and play a video. But basically, she's dragging this other gentleman called Afeez Owo, who is husband to another actress, Mide Martins, and it's been dramatic. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because sometimes the answer is right there in your face. The answer is the shadow. When it comes to life and relationships, the answer is precisely your shadow, but you're not paying attention to your behaviors. You're only paying attention to you're not paying attention to how you attract your reality. You're paying attention to the potential of everybody else being your enemy. Okay, how do we say it? We might say things like, I don't know if there's somebody else behind it, or I don't know if there's people behind it, or village people, or things like that. Especially us Nigerians, these things, But the hard work is actually to self-reflect. The hard work is self-power, social seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence. That's the hard work, and it gets very difficult for the most of us, especially if we've never engaged the prestige way of doing life. Anyway, so she's on the internet. She's been dragging it out. Basically, this young man, Afeez Owo, was on a podcast. He was on a podcast, and they asked him a question. I'm going to try to find it. They asked him a question about some people's characters off the scene and in real life. Okay, they asked him about his wife. The wife is always acting somebody who is a boiling blood, heated temperament, like anger type of temperament. That's what she always acted. And what we've heard is that WUNMI TORIOLA also acted such scenes for the most part, So and they asked him, I say, are these people like this in real life? That's the question that they asked him. And he seemed to have given too much information than he needed to give, and then he got dragged for all of that, So he said this, I'm paraphrasing. He said his wife is never really like that in real life, that she's not a hot-tempered person in real life, that even if you bother her, that like she won't answer or anything like that. Okay, and that's what he said about his wife. This is the gentleman we're talking about. This was the podcast. I don't know which part of the podcast, so let me see if it's in the intro. How about that? Let's see if it's in the intro.
So immediate to act.
Okay, so they're speaking Yoruba, so it won't be worth it anyway. So they're speaking Yoruba, so it won't be worth it. So anyway, so he said, my wife, Mide Martins, that she's never really like that. That in real life she's calm, but the other person's wife, I don't know if she's somebody's wife, but WUNMI TORIOLA is she's kind of like that, but she doesn't just come and cause trouble. But if you find her problems, that she's like that. And of course, WUNMI TORIOLA did not find that funny. She didn't find it funny, right? So what did she need to do? What did she need to do? She needed to debunk it. How is she going to debunk it? How is she going to debunk it by not acting the way they say she is? Welcome, Latu. How you doing? Welcome, Biba. I see you, Biba. How is she going to debunk this idea that she's a hot-tempered person without acting hot-tempered? Wala. There's pressure. This is the kind of pressure we all have to deal with, right? Somebody's accusing you of something.
Everything I do,
Somebody's accusing you of something, and naturally now you should defend yourself, right? Isn't that what we tell ourselves? Gen Z generation, Gen Z era, Gen Z, not generation, Gen Z era, all of us, right? That's what we tell ourselves. You should defend yourself. Defend yourself. How can they call you hot-tempered, right? And of course, he decided to go out there and basically prove his point. Let me see if I can find the video. I think I can probably find it somewhere here. May God help us. No, wait though. Let me first of all. Yeah, she's an actress. She's an actress. But let's see what she has to say. This is WUNMI. I can't play the music. This is just music. But I think she's showing here that she's not bothered. She said, "Thank you all for the backlash. Omotoba fe lamba omotaba fe lambawi." Okay, she's saying okay, whatever. But anyway, she came out and basically insulted the man. I'm trying to see if I can. She insulted Afeez Owo as a old dirty bastard that should have minded his business and not speak to their matters, and not collect mic and be talking anyhow on the internet. Now, I do think that if you have nothing nice to say about a person, right? If you have nothing nice to say about a person, it's probably best to shut up. For the most part, I promise you. For the most part, it's best if you have nothing nice to say. For the most part, it's just best to shut up. Why? Again, oftentimes there's no real interest in what you have to say. He was on the podcast. He was being interviewed. So I'm guessing he felt the need to be honest. He wanted to speak the truth as he did. Like, just speak with your full chest. What are you afraid of? Well, the problem is that in this one, it's not a big deal. In this particular issue, it's not. It's like we can say it's not a big deal, but you might end up in a situation that actually becomes a big deal in the future. And how you show up in certain behavior is how you tend to show up in everything else. How you show up in certain events, certain circumstances is how you tend to show up in every other circumstances. All right. So it's very, very important, right? It's very, very important to pay attention to that, to your behavior, your own personal behavior, particularly when it comes to responding to crisis. The same thing is true for her. The same thing is true for Afeez Owo. Okay. So according to the Daily Post, the actress WUNMI TORIOLA has blasted veteran movie director Afeez Owo for comparing her with his wife, Mide Martins. Daily Post reports that Afeez Owo had discussed WUNMI TORIOLA's character during his interview on the African A-List podcast. While analyzing the difference between WUNMI and Mide characters, Afeez said Mide's character in the movie is totally different from real life, but WUNMI's movie role is close to her character in real life. Violence is a comfort zone.
Everything I do,
If you have nothing nice to say, it's probably best to keep it to yourself. Anyway, violence is a comfort zone. And I quote, WUNMI will react when provoked and she doesn't take nonsense from anyone. But if you offend Mide in real life, she will remain calm. Mide happened to be his actual wife. Reacting to the interview in a now deleted video on her Instagram page, WUNMI blasted the actor. She didn't mean to confirm his accusations. While describing the interview as rubbish, WUNMI said, "Must every rift be taken to podcast?" They said podcast, na podcast last we cast everybody in that Nigeria. They gave you a mic and you started saying rubbish. After they entertained you with pepper soup, you started blabbing. Am I a mad woman? If people don't offend me, will I be angry? Would I be violent? I have never insulted you before. I still respect you despite your unfortunate behavior. Yeah. So let me see if there's we can find. Let's see here. You have to love the Yoruba language. Anyway, there was no way I was going to do justice to that story without making sure I play a little bit of the Yoruba that she was speaking. But hey, Mo Fresh, how are you doing, Mo Fresh? Long time, how have you been? Mo Fresh is one of the originals on this platform. Good to see you. Mario said he was out of line. Yeah. If you don't have something nice to say about people in their absence, if you know you don't have a certain type of relationship with them, because they might have had a certain type of relationship where it was just banter and she would just be and say, don't mind him, he's just always pulling my leg. But clearly there was no relationship and there was nothing nice to say. No, it's not okay to say that. Mara said, I suspect she has no husband. In their thinking is why he's comfortable saying that. Oh, Nigerian misogynistic behavior, internalized misogyny, right? I agree. Actually, that's just the mindset. Guys, click the like button. Oh, hola. Click the like button. Natu says. Shout out to Natu. All right. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let's move on to the main story of the day. Let's see what we can get out of that. But let me know your thoughts about this one. Share your comments in the comments. You know, let me know what you think. I'll be right back.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.